for plants. Well, there's two plants here that really deserve our attention, and one of them is on the ground, but it grew in the tree of the other one. So it's kind of interesting. They have this total relation. Everything has a relationship. How do we just have to slow down enough. And so when we look on the ground, you can almost see the energy of it. It's not really a plant, but it looks like a plant. And when you reach down to it, it kind of comes to life a little and jumps into your hand. You say, ah, here's some. Oh, and here's some more. Ooh, here's one that I saw first. That's pretty good. Wow. Is that, I mean, come on. Is that not a creature or what? So this is called a lichen. And there's, I think, 25,000 lichens in the world. Maybe 4,000 in this country, something like that. And this happens to be, so a lichen, just to get people clear on that, a lichen is two different organisms that have bonded together, not in this life, but in evolutionarily. So they've been bonded for millions of years, and that bonding, they share their DNA and they support each other. So you have a fungus that's giving it structure, and then you have this green layer that's the algae. So it's a fungus and algae that took a lichen to each other. That's the funny little story to help us remember it. And so you have this whole kind of scene happening. So the algae gives the fungus sugars from photosynthesis, and then the fungus gives, like I said, support and leaches. It has acids that it puts into whatever it's on, and gets minerals and gives it over to the algae. So there's this whole beautiful relationship. And when we discovered lichens and realized this about them, I think we should have really broadened then, but it's only been in the last probably 20 years that we realized that everything is this. That this is a model, this is a microcosm of all of life. That nothing is isolated, everything is intermingled. So why pretend like it is? Why try to isolate things? That doesn't help us really. It may seem miraculous in the moment, but we've always found really that isolated, concentrated things, highly refined things, are in the end dangerous to us. And I can't think of an example right now that's not true. Even oxygen, too much oxygen will kill you, you know. And keep that in mind. We want the mix, and how to be in a healthy mix. And how do we do that? Well, we bond. And these are some being demanded. This happens to be the most famous lichen in the world that we've happened to find right here on the ground. And I'm excited to see it. I love it every time I see it. One good sign of it is it tells you that the air is relatively fresh in this little scene here. It wouldn't be able to live without that. Why is this famous? This is called usnea. And usnea, can you say usnea? Usnea. I always love hearing groups of people say usnea. And it contains usnic acid, among other things. And usnic acid has incredible amounts of experiments that they've done on it that shows that it's the strongest antimicrobial substance in the natural world. So this usnic acid can be used for staph infections and strep throat, and people do alcohol extracts to get it. But we're doing a lot of experiments at the Rainbow Gatherings of doing his teas and poultices and chewing it and getting some really good results. So I think there's more of a synergy going on. But the popular thought right now is that it's an extract of alcohol, high alcohol extract that has the usnic acid in it. But I think we need to keep exploring that. We need to remember that knowledge is a wave. So we want to go to the deeper place of wisdom. And I think that's going to come through getting to know this plant. And so it's an important plant because it reminds us of the Doctrine of Signatures, which is, I think, a very living, powerful system that we need to reinstate in our world, which means that when you look at something and sort of grok it and get a sense of it, it tells you about who it is for you. And when you see that, if you see that hanging out, and it's usually this one's usually up in the trees, and when the winds come and the storms, it blows it out and blows it to the ground. When you see it hanging, what does that make you think of? Hopefully, there's a bunch of things that can make you think. What it makes me think of is phlegm. And if your phlegm looks like this, then you need this. And that's the basic explanation of Doctrine of Signatures, is that that which you're experiencing from the plant or being is telling you about how it can be useful to you. Very important philosophy called the Doctrine of Signatures. usnic, acid usnia. You are our friend. There's a dye you can get out of a certain color. One to just really keep as a friend. Now, who else is on the ground? See, it's funny that you look down and you get answers from above. We find all these berries. Oh, yeah, I love to eat these berries. I love to eat them, and I also love to make necklaces. In the Sierra Mountains where I live, we like to, in the autumn time, around now, a little earlier than now, we like to gather these and string them up and make necklaces and things like that, and part of ceremonies and rituals. So this is a good berry to eat, and it's a good berry to make into necklaces, and I like to make chutneys and things like that. So this is the plant. Look how many berries there are. Oh, just a few thousand above our head. And so this is what nature's constantly teaching us, is that there's abundance all around. And this is one of the great trees that's in the blueberry family, the Ericaceae family, called Madrone. And it grows in other parts of the world too. It's called strawberry trees. And you can see those, people plant them around, and they're the size of much bigger, the strawberry trees that are planted. But this is our native Madrone, and Arbutus is the genus. And it's a member of, like I said, the blueberry family. You can eat it and enjoy it. And the bark, people smoke the bark and use the bark as it has a drying quality to it. And you can also take the leaves and make teas out of it for cleaning the urinary tract and the bladder. This family, the blueberry family, is full of a lot of plants that have that same quality of cleaning the urinary tract, the bladder of infection. So it's kind of nice to have the usnea growing up in it, so you get this sort of beautiful, powerful plant that's here with us. So wonderful to have a little time with Madrone and catch it right when it's in its abundance.
One of my favorite trees. The bark is, or the bark is, it peels off, and then it's like this sexy, smooth underneath.
It is. It's really special, isn't it?